William Salyers Rigby from the They can only afford 2 mic stands.
Okay, I got it, yeah.
Oh, we got 2 more mic stands. Yay! Okay. So those 2 would be great. I will hold them.
They're very fun.
Okay. Next, he's Goofy. Literally. Goofy, Pluto, Disney icon, Bill Farmer. All right. Zach Callison, Steven Universe, coming to the stage. Zach! Very good. And last and most certainly not least, you know from many voices on Futurama, he's Pinky on Pinky and... No, he's the brain. Oh my God. Because I'm an idiot. I have no brain. He does. He's the brain from Pinky and the Brain. Maurice Lamar. Apologize for that.
Yes! Get this man a refund. Oh my God.
My brain. Yes, I'm just happy to see you.
Let's go down.
The script we are reading. Does anyone know what we're reading? All right. Magic. All right, so for the first scene, we are going to need a narrator. William, would you be so kind as to do Yoda as the narrator?
Certainly I will.
The grandfather. Maurice, it's too perfect. You have to do Peter Falk as the grandfather. You keep an eye on his face, because the face is also the impression. The kid. Let's start off strong, Bill. Let's go Goofy. Goofy, that's the kid. Buttercup. Back it up, Goofy. Zach, let's do Mickey Mouse.
All right.
And lastly, Wesley. Bill, how about Snagglepuss? Snagglepuss. Wesley.
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 Story opens with Fred Savage and Ben Sick playing Nintendo baseball. With a bag of Cheetos behind him. Enters Ruben Columbo does.
I brought you a special present.
Oh, what is it?
Go on, open it.
Oh, God.
That's right. You know, when I was your age, television was called books. This is a special book. It was the book my father used to read to me when I was sick, and I used to read it to your father. And today, I'm gonna read it to you. If I could just uncross my friggin' eye.
Is it gonna have any sports in it?
Are you kidding? Fencing, fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, miracles.
Gosh, don't sound too late. All right, stay awake.
Thank you very much. It's very nice of you. Your vote of confidence is overwhelming. All right, here we go. The Princess Bride by S. Morgenstern, Chapter 1. Buttercup was raised on a small farm in the country of Florida. Her favorite pastimes were riding her horse and tormenting the farm boy that worked there. His name was Wesley, but she never called him that. Now, isn't that a wonderful beginning?
It's okay. No, it's really good.
Nothing gave Buttercup as much pleasure as ordering Wesley around.
Farm boy, polish my horse's saddle. I want to see my face shining in the mother.
As you wish.
As you wish was all he ever said to her.
Farm boy,
when he was saying, as you wish, what he meant was, exit via stage right. No, take it back. Take two. When he was saying, as you wish, what he meant was, I love you. And even more amazing was the day she realized she truly loved him back.
Bar boy, fetch me that picture.
As you wish.
We kept to a beautiful sunset and a passionate kiss. See, kids, we told you this was PG-13.
Now, hold it right now. What is this? Are you trying to trick me? Where's the sports? Is this a kissing book?
Wait, just wait.
Well, when does it get good?
Keep your shirt on, let me breathe. Wesley had no money for marriage, so he packed his few belongings and left the farm to seek his fortune across the sea. It was very emotional. It was a very emotional time for Buttercup.
Well, I don't believe this.
And see.
And see.
All right. Let's see. Buttercup. Oh, this is perfect. Captain Price from Call of Duty. Zach, could you be so kind?
It's perfect. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Well, all right then. Is my bloody microphone on? Testing. Thank you.
Wesley. William, how about Scott from Star Trek?
All right then.
The grandfather. Maurice, we'll have you do that again, but hedonism on. That's right. The kid. Bill, how about Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood?
Yes. And narrator. Maurice, how about Keith Crooker?
All right.
Humperdinck. Bill, how about William Shatner?
Shatner?
He's not here. Fezzik. Bill, how many years 70 sing that song?
Okay, that's
Fezzik. Bazzini. William, let's bring out Rigby.
All right. That's kind of weirdly perfect.
And Inigo. Maurice, how about Popeye? Oh, and the crowd. Well, I'm gonna have you guys do the crowd. Okay?
All right.
The kid is and when I gesture you, you're gonna say yes. So we'll involve you guys as well. All right?
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
I fear I'll never see you again.
Of course you will, lass, or laddie.
But what if something happens to you?
Hear this now. I will always come for you. This is true love. You think this happens every day?
Wesley didn't reach his destination. His ship was attacked by the dread pirate Roberts, who never left captives alive. But first he dipped them repeatedly in a vat of the finest creams and oils. When Buttercup got the news that Wesley was murdered,
Murdered by pirates is good.
shut the door, and for days she neither slept, nor ate, nor called Jambi for the chocolate syrup.
Oi, I will never love again.
Oh, Florine Castle Day. The courtyard of Florine is filled with townspeople and livestock. main square of Lowland City was filled as never before to hear the announcement of the great Prince Humperdinck's bride-to-be.
My people, other than that, our country was 500 years. I shall marry a lady who was once a goner like yourselves. But perhaps you will not find a goner now. Would you like to? Yes! My people, the Princess Buttercup.
Buttercup's emptiness consumed her. Although the law of the land gave Humperdinck the right to choose his bride, she did not love him, no. Despite Humperdinck's reassurance that she would grow to love him, the only joy she found was in her daily ride.
A word, my lady? We are but poor, lost circus performers, for reals. Is there a village nearby?
There is nothing nearby, not for miles.
Oh, well, that's cool then. There'll be no one to hear you scream!
Andre the Giant. She touches her neck and she passes out immediately. That's amazing. Cut to the ship. Oh, gosh, what is that you're ripping, son?
Whoa! It's fabric from the uniform of an army officer of Gilder. It's just
Who's Gilder?
the country across the sea, the sworn enemy of Florin. Once this horse reaches the castle, the fabric will make the prince suspect that Gildarians have abducted his love. When he finds her body dead on the Gilder frontier, his suspicions will be totally confirmed.
You never said anything about killing anyone.
I've hired you to help me start a war, dude. That's a prestigious line of work with a long and glorious tradition. Oh, there's a black line. A black line we stopped. I got so excited.
And scene. All right, taking over for Vizzini. Maurice, let's bring up the parade. Fezzik.
You sure don't want me to do Pinky?
I don't know what happened. I really don't. Fezzik. Bill Foghorn and Leghorn.
Okay, fine.
Inigo. Stephen Universe. If you'd be so kind.
Is Inigo Montoya?
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you so much.
The narrator. Let's bring out Morgan Solace from Mass Effect. William.
Fascinating choice.
Yes!
And while you're at it, let's also do Reverend Putty from Moral Oral as...
That's Buttercup, okay.
I think we can do that.
Okay.
I've hired you to help me start a war. It's a prestigious line of work with a long and glorious tradition.
I'll say, I just don't think it's all right. Killing an innocent girl.
Am I going mad when the word think escaped your lips? You were not hired for your brains, you hippopotamic landmass.
I agree with Fezzik.
Oh, the Sarge has spoken. What happens to her is truly not your concern. I will kill her, and remember this, never forget this. When I found you, you were so slobbering drunk you couldn't buy brandy. And you, friendless, helpless, hopeless, do you want me to send you back to where you were, unemployed, in Greenland?
That Vizzini, he can fuss. I'm not even old enough to drink.
Fuss. I think that boy likes to scream at us.
Probably means no harm.
He's really very short on charm.
Oh, you've got a great gift for rhyme.
Yes, and some of the time I do.
Enough of that.
Fezzik, are there rocks ahead?
If they are, we'll all be dead.
No more rhymes now, or I shall have to grab a pencil and bop you.
You don't want a peanut. This is all tonight, a lonely, sad night. And Ego keeps looking behind him.
Why are you doing that?
Making sure nobody's following us?
That would be inconceivable.
I think I switched my roles, didn't I? Okay. Despite what you think, you will be caught, and when you are, the prince will see you all hanged.
Of all the necks on this boat, Your Highness, the one you should be worrying about is your own.
You sure nobody's following us?
As I told you, it would be absolutely, totally, and in all other ways, inconceivable. Where did that come from? No one in Gilder knows what we've done, and no one in Florin could have gotten here so fast. Out of curiosity, why do you ask?
Oh, no reason. It's only, I just happened to look behind us, and something is there.
What? Probably some local fisherman out for a pleasure cruise at night through eel-infested waters.
And scene.
This is good. I think it's going to get made.
Let's see. Narrator. Maurice, let's bring out Morbo. Vizzini. Bill Daffy Duck.
Daffy.
You don't really keep Zach as Inigo, but how about this time Butters from South Park?
Nice.
Let's see. Fezzik. William, how about? I love Fozzie Bear. I love your
Okay,
the grandfather. William, let's do Towery. Also from South Park.
Okay.
Finishing it off.
Wait, I've already lost track of who I am.
Hold up. You are Fezzik, Fozzie Bear.
Oh, right. Fezzik Fozzie and a little
Grandfather, Towery.
Want to get high?
And the kid, Cartman.
God damn it! Who you call a kid?
Take it away.
We hear a big splash behind them. Buttercup has jumped overboard, and she is doomed!
Go, brother. Go in. Get after her.
I don't swim.
I only bear paddle.
Rear left. Left.
We hear shrieking sounds in the dark night.
Do you know what that sound is, Highness? Are those the shrieking eels? If you don't believe me, just wait. They always go louder when they're about to feed on human flesh.
Eels do not work that way!
No harm will come to you. I doubt we'll get such an offer from the eels.
She doesn't get eaten by the eels at this time.
What? Why not?
The eel doesn't get her. I'm
an eel in the head. He picks up the princess with one hand and puts her in the boat.
Put her down! Just put her down!
I think he's getting closer.
He's no concern of ours! Sail on!
Look, he's right on top of us. I wonder if he's using the same wind we're using.
Whoever he is, he's too late! The cliff of insanity! It's easy for you to say. Hurry up! Move the thing! And that other thing, move it! Move that little thing, too. We're safe. Only Cedric is strong enough to go up our way. He'll have to sail around for hours till he finds the harbor.
And see. All right, next narrator. William, how about Boris?
Who?
Boris?
Oh, the Boris of the Dutch. Yes, yes.
Because for Inigo, we're going to bring in Maurice as Bullwinkle.
He's always very good.
Vizzini, Bill, how about Pee-wee Herman? Okay. And, yeah, so Vizzini, Fezzik. Let's do Mickey Mouse again.
All right.
Yeah?
Down no.
We're good?
You were good.
Say action.
Action.
Andre the Giant straps 3 people onto him and climbs a rope using only his arms straight up cliff while talking the whole way.
He's climbing the rope, and he's gaining on us.
Inconceivable! Faster!
Sorry, did I do the wrong roll?
I think so.
Yes. So, yeah, let's go back to Vizzini.
All these
Pee-wee
scenes are
Herman.
throwing me off now, the names.
Inconceivable. Faster.
I thought I was going faster.
You were supposed to be his Colossus. You were this great legendary thing. And yet he gains.
Well, I'm carrying 3 people, and he's only got himself.
And I don't accept excuses. I'm just going to have to find myself a new giant, that's all.
Don't say that, Vizzini. Please.
Did I make it clear that your job is at stake?
They make it to the top and Vizzini cuts rope. They look over edge to discover the man following them in the black baskets hanging onto the rocks.
He has very good arms.
Thank you very much. He didn't fall. Inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Even though we're doing this, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. My God, he's climbing.
Whoever he is, he's obviously seen us with a princess, and therefore must die. You carry him. We'll head straight for the Gilded Frontier. Chase up when catch up when he's dead, and if he falls,
Fine!
if not, destroy.
I am going to fuel him left-handed.
You know what hurry we're in?
Well, it's the only way I can be satisfied. Well, there is that thing with the squirrel, but... if I use my right, it's over too quickly.
Wow, having your way.
Like a Burger King.
You be careful now. People in masks cannot be trusted. They dress up in my mask at Disneyland.
I'm waiting!
And see. All right, so let's see, Inigo. William, let's do your Daffy Duck. And then Maurice for the Man in Black, let's do Inspector Gadget. Which one? Daffy Duck versus Inspector Gadget.
It's just those 2 characters.
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Hello there! Slow going?
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but this is not as easy as it looks. So I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't distract me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
don't suppose you could speed things up?
If you're in such a hurry, you could lower a rope or a tree branch and find something useful to do.
I could do that. In fact, I've got some rope up here. But I do not think that you will accept my help, since I am only waiting around to kill you.
That does put a damper on our relationship.
But I promise I will not kill you until you reach the top.
That's very comforting. But I'm afraid you'll just have to wait.
I hate waiting. I can give you my word as a Spaniard.
No good. I've known too many Spaniards and chaos agents and Spaniard chaos agents.
So there's no way you'll trust me?
Nothing comes to mind.
I swear on the soul of my father, Domenico Montoya, that you will reach the top alive.
Throw me the rope.
And scene. All right, narrator. Maurice, how about Pepe Le Pew? Inigo, Zach, let's bring back Steven Universe.
Steven's back.
You know how to do it, Zach?
I don't have a lot of practice. It's a great impression, right?
And the man in black. Do we do something sing already? Let's do Christopher. Oh yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Yeah. Christopher Lloyd, Man in Black, Inigo, Steven Universe, and narrator Pepe Le Pew.
Inigo throws that rope down and pulls out the masked man. Begin to have the conversation. Love is in the air.
I don't mean to pry, but you don't by any chance happen to have 6 fingers on your right hand.
Okay, well, you always begin conversations this way.
My father was slaughtered by a 6-fingered man. He was a great sword maker, my father. And when the 6-fingered man appeared and requested a special sword, my father took the job. He slaved a year before he was done.
I've never seen its equal.
The 6-fingered man returned and demanded it, but at 1/10 his promised price. My father refused. Without a word, the 6-fingered man slashed him through the heart. I loved my father, so naturally, I challenged his murderer to a duel. I failed. The 6-fingered man left me alive, but he gave me these.
Marty, I mean, how old were you?
I was 11 years old, so this was about a month ago. When I was strong enough, I dedicated my life to the study of fencing. So the next time we meet, I will not fail. I will go up to the 6-fingered man and say, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die!"
You're done nothing but study, sword play.
More pursuit than study lately. You see, I can't find him. It's been 20 years now. Don't know how that's possible. I'm starting to lose confidence. I just work for Vizzini to pay the bills. There's not a lot of money in revenge.
Well, I certainly hope you find him someday.
You ready then?
Whether I am or not, you've been more than fair.
You seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you.
Me too. You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die.
And see. All right.
We have a request.
Request from the audience. All right, how about for Inigo, let's do Bill Sylvester.
Okay. Spitting.
William, let's do Kermit.
Okay.
And Maurice. Want to do Christopher?
Which character?
Man in Black. All right. Action.
Who is the narrator?
Kermit.
Oh, that really would go. They begin to duel masterfully. Neither one has really an advantage.
Oh, am I top of page 17?
Oh, that's me. Sylvester, okay.
Fuckatage. You're using Walnut's defense against me, eh?
I thought it was fitting, considering the Rocky. Wow.
Naturally, you must expect me to attack with Capo Ferro.
Naturally. But I find Tebow cancels out. Capo Ferro, don't you? Wow.
Unless the enemy has studied his Agrippa, which I have. You are wonderful.
Wow. Thank you. I've worked hard to become so. Wow.
Oh, brother, I admit it. You're better than I am.
Then why are you smiling?
Because I've got gas. Because I know something you don't know.
And what is that?
I am not left-handed.
Inigo tosses the sword into his right hand and starts attacking the man in the black mask.
You're amazing.
I'll gonna be after 20 years.
There's something I ought to tell you.
Tell me.
I'm not left-handed either. Wow. In fact, I've had the sword up my ass. With my right hand. Wow.
The man in black tosses his sword out of his ass and starts attacking Inigo. They both do an amazing gymnastic parallel bar dismount.
Sounds very erotic. Who are you?
No one of consequence.
I'm a
Just a hoofer. An old hoofer. Wow.
I must know.
We'll get used to disappointment. Wow.
Over the next 14 pages, they continue an unbelievable duel until the man in black finally wins. Inigo drops to his knees.
Just kill me quickly.
I would as soon destroy a stained glass window as an artist like yourself. However, since I can't have you following me either, wow. Please understand, I hold you in the highest respect. And this watch, it's also been up my ass.
Let's see. Let's see. Next scene, narrator. Let's bring back Carter. Zach, Carter, please.
Yes.
Narrator.
For narrator?
Narrator. Fezzik. Bill, let's go Tweety now. Tweety to Sylvester. Okay, let's bring back Tweety. The Man in Black. Maurice, how about the Grandmaster Wizard?
Character I played twice. At Adventure Time, the show I never watched because I don't understand it. I can't remember what he says.
Okay.
How about throw me a shadow?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do a shadow.
Let's do
Am I the Man in Black?
Man in Black, Shadow, Coronado.
Dueling shadows. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
In Vizini, William, let's bring back Willie.
Cool.
Are we ready?
Action.
Man in Black hits Nico over the head and knocks him out. And the next scene, we see the Man in Black in the distance running towards Vizzini, because he's a ninja.
Inconceivable! Give her to me! Catch up with us quickly. Ooh, what do I do? Finish him, dude! Your way. Oh, goodness, my way. Thank you, Bellini. Which way is my way? Pick up one of those rocks, get behind the boulder, and in a few minutes, the man in black will come running around the bend. Then, the minute his head is in view, hit it with a rock! Ooh, that way not very sportsmanlike.
Fezzik picks up a rock and waits behind the boulder. As the man in black appears, the rock just misses him and explodes on the mountain.
Ooh, I did that on purpose. I don't have to miss.
I believe you. So, what happens now?
We face each other as God intended. Sportsmanlike. No twists, no weapons, skill against skill alone.
You mean you put down your rock, and I'll put down my sword, and we'll try to kill each other like civilized people?
I could kill you now.
Frankly, I think the odds are slightly in your favor. Have that.
It's not my fault being the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
The man in black tries everything to knock down the giant, but nothing works, and he's very frustrated because he's a little bitch. Yeah.
Look, are you just fiddling around with me, or what?
Ooh, I just want you to feel you're doing well. I hate for people to die in Paris. Why do you wear a mask? Were you poisoned by acid or something like that?
Oh, no, it's just that I think they're terribly comfortable. I think everyone will be wearing them in the future.
Ooh, I just figured out why you gave me so much trouble. You're perverted.
Insane.
That's as far as we go.
That's as far as we go.
Well then, let's take suggestions from the crowd.
Yes.
Show us the ways.
Do you want to turn this into a Q&A? Yes.
We got time.
15 minutes, sir.
Ask questions. Have those questions.
I'm still getting an hour session fee for this, right?
You're getting paid.
SAG after.
Fathers. What you guys think? Fathers.
You guys want to ask? You guys want to turn it into a Q&A and ask us questions like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. So what's the craziest fan
Craziest what?
experience?
The craziest fan experience.
Craziest fan. Oh my God. I don't know what to say. Craziest fan. Let's see. One guy. Sometimes you get weird gifts. I got a guy that built me a moose out of peanut shells. I guess it was.
Why would that be a bad gift?
I don't know. That was strange.
I'm not following that story. You got me with the moose peanuts. That's great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. I've been relatively lucky. I haven't had too much crazy yet. I lived in Seattle for a while before I moved to LA, and I had old friends there, and I went to a con, and it was Seattle Comic Con, and it was a young woman dressed as an elf who suddenly raised a sword in the air, screamed, and ran at me. Yeah, and I mean, you know, this wasn't my time off. I was getting paid for this, but I mean, I thought I was gonna die. And it turned out she was the daughter of an old friend of mine that I hadn't met. And so she stopped right before the sword entered my cranium.
Well, you're still here, so.
Yeah, it worked out. It was fine. Not that time.
So hi, I just want to say hello to everybody and thank you all for coming here and thank you yet, so thank you for your entire catalog of work. And I do have a question for each of you. Do you have a particular voice that you have attempted that just did not work out for any of you? Just
Most of them.
that you say, I am not going to be able to achieve that particular voice.
All the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. On the edge of that, there's some that are there people in here familiar with regular show? Oh, yeah. All right. So there was a baby duck voice that. Yeah. I was one of the baby duck voices, and it was at the very edge of what I could do. Because it was. And a vein would start throbbing in my forehead, and I was worried. Like there were times where I was like, "Give me this."
Mo and I did a show called The 7D where he did Grumpy and I did Dog in that. But I also had an ancillary character, another dog, believe it or not. I do Pluto a lot, which is it's just a bark. This one is Sir Yips a lot, and for some reason in the audition I did a suck-in kind of a voice, which is like. And boy, if you have to do about 30 minutes of that, sound like the Godfather. That's just as tough on you sucking a fly or anything you the mic stand or whatever. And that's a tough one.
I had a couple shows that I was on that I could do the voice and I was doing fine, and I turned 15 and puberty came. And suddenly it wasn't fine, and there was absolutely nothing I could do to get those voices back. Thankfully, I stayed on Steven, and they aged the character, and I changed the voice around a little bit, sort of aged it a little more slowly, gradually, but there were a couple shows, it's like, yeah, I knew it was coming, couldn't do it, and it was very frustrating at the time, because it's like, I used my voice for everything for 10 years. It's like a piano player plays for 10 years, and all of a sudden, they get new hands that they don't know how to use. I don't know how to use my voice, and it's the biggest challenge I've had.
You're lucky, Zach, because in the old days they would have just made you a castrati.
I actually, have you heard the Steven voice? It's right up there. I don't think I kept it up.
We'd like you to sit on this water pick.
They use radiation guns. Let's see.
The one voice that I actually did perform it, but I can't do it, is the voice I had is Mr. Big in Zootopia. I can't reproduce that voice because they sped him up 18%, or rather pitched him 18%. So the performance is at the same timing, but the voice is higher than my range can go. So I am Mr. Big and I'm not Mr. Big. So if you come by my table, I'll do what I recorded it as, but I can't give you what it actually is unless you have a helium balloon.
Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Good question.
Thank you.
So, as professional voice actors, just being out there in the world, going to your daily lives and whatnot, do you guys ever use your voices for evil? Just you're out there, drive through or whatever, you just mess with someone with these voices. Do you ever do that just for fun?
I did fool Johnny Carson's son about 5 seconds, which is a lot for. Well, maybe it was more than 5. It was 2 exchanges. I called him up and hit Johnny, and I said, Rick, it's Dad. Hi, Dad. I understand you needed more allowance this week, and then he had me on that. Too stupid a freaking joke. So I pranked Stephen first, the late Stephen first. Again, it's Johnny Carson, and he totally bought it. He was going to be doing the Tonight Show next week, and he was a friend of mine. So we called him up, and I asked him. I said, Stephen, we wanted to ask you to do the NBC Shuffleboard tournament. You're willing to MC? Oh, Mr. Carson, yes, I'd be happy to. And his kid's trying to climb on him. He's throwing his kid along the bed. He's like, get away from me. I'm talking to Johnny Carson. He told that story on the Tonight Show the next week. Completely deleted my name from the story. So I
I just became anonymous friend of Howie Mandel's, who does a great Johnny Carson. I never got on the Tonight Show, never had my name mentioned on the Tonight Show.
I have actually, on rare occasions, like when people call up and, hey, do you need insurance, or can we shingle your house, or one of those kind of guys that I get all the time. On rare occasions, if I'm just in the mood, I'll just go, will you be my friend? I'll hang up right away.
It's not my story, but the voice actor Roger Craig Smith, do you guys know who he does Sonic the Hedgehog, which other stuff has done Batman. But anyway, he's got a great thing on YouTube where someone called him from India or Pakistan, claiming to be the IRS, and like trying to get him to give money, and he started stringing them along by pretending to be an entire family. Yeah. Plus a dog at one point and a baby. And he recorded all this so you can listen to it on YouTube. Well, that's fun. It's hilarious, and boy, those guys got pissed when they figured it out. Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Jess Harnell pranked me once. I called Jeff, my agent, and I get somebody picks up the phone, and he's kind of got a very high voice like this, and he's talking with, that kind of inflection. And then he's like, hi, I don't remember what he says, hi, I'm Trevor, yeah. Like, hi, I'm Trevor, I'm Jeff's new assistant. And I was like, oh, this is strange, okay. I don't know who this is. So I was, trying to be nice and professional and going along with it. And he's got this very, cartoony, flatty energy. I'm like, what is this? And he keeps stringing me along and asking more ridiculous questions. And, all of a sudden he's like, hey, if I put you through the Jeff right now, would you be able to sign an autograph for me? And asking all these really sketchy things and commenting on my looks, and I was like, yeah, sure, thanks, I guess. And he puts Jeff on the phone, he's like, that was Jess, right? And I hadn't talked to Jess in a year at that point. He got me to it, 10-15 minutes. He had me. Good times.
I was curious, there's a little bit of a generational gap with you, but how each of you got into the business, so to speak. Like you said, you've been doing it 10 years, and of course, you've been doing it for a while. Goofy. So,
30 years. I was a stand-up comic impressionist back in the 80s, living in Dallas, and on the advice of an agent, they said, yeah, you do all these characters, why don't you go to Hollywood? And I moved out, not knowing what the heck I was able to get an agent pretty quickly, and just about 5 months after I got in town, they said, do you do any of the Disney characters? And I said, well, I think most people can kind of get in the ballpark with Mickey, gosh, and of course, Goofy was my favorite when I was growing up, and I guess I just practiced him, and so I just, they gave me a cassette of the original voice, I practiced it over the weekend, did it, and about a month later they said, hey, they want to try you as the voice. And so in January of '87, I did my first Goofy job, and they don't say, you're Goofy for life. No, it's like one time, it could be someone else next week, and then they called me again about a month later, which was actually the second job I did. I got to work with Mo, was one of the first people I got to work with. That was the second time. It was on Disney's, it was on Disney's Monster Hits. And I think you did a Jack, who am I thinking of?
Oh, gosh.
Benny. No.
Jack Benny, Jack Palance.
Oh, yeah. And so you were actually sitting next to me, and I was hearing this guy going over and over, saying crisp green coating and all this stuff. And so even then practicing, I said, this guy's good. And, but they keep calling me, so after 30 years, I'm still doing it.
I came at it just through straight acting. I've been acting since I was 15 years old. I did a play. I thought, this is pretty cool. So I never looked back, and then a friend of mine asked me to come and read for a show he was working on for Adult Swim called Moral World. And I wasn't nervous because I knew that, this world was about this big, and it was like, there was no way I was going to get the job. So, I went in completely relaxed, and I'd done a very little bit of VO at that point, one-offs, for somebody's, used car lot, you know, that was on the board of the theater or whatever. But then, you know, I didn't even bother to lie. I was so relaxed. It was like, you know, one of the creators was like, yeah, but you've done VO, right? And I was like, not really. You know, I was relaxed, had a good time with it, and ended up booking it.
I kind of came to some programs in theater after in St. Louis, moved to LA about 10 years ago for film and television. And then I got an audition for a radio show called Adventures in Odyssey. I booked that. It's a great place to learn. It was my very first session. Jess Arnell was there. The second one, Jim Cummings was there. And same thing, like being around, you know, people who've been doing this forever and observing how they work. It was a masterclass. And I ended up working on that show for 5 years until immediately I hit puberty. I couldn't play the 11-year-old anymore, but they were great, and it was a great teaching experience. And after that, I started looking more. Stevie came along with 4 years later.
I think, you know, there's a through line of all of our stories is that we all were doing something else and made our way into voice acting. It's rare as the person who starts out and just goes, I'm going to be a voice actor, and, you know, that's all they do. There's a lot of craft involved in voice acting, and I think the operative word voice acting is acting, not voice. Having said that, I come from the same background as well. In fact, it's almost a parallel story. I was an impressionist and was doing stand-up at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, and the voice agent from William Morris Agency saw me and said, would you like to pursue voiceovers? And I said, I've always heard that's a closed door, that Frank Welker just basically does all the work, you know, just kind of tosses bones to people behind one or two people. And they said, no. She said, give it a shot. I auditioned for a full year before I got my first job. And that's why I always tell people don't be discouraged if you go out on an audition or two. You know, it's like, you're doing really well if you get one in 30 things that you read for. And I read for a year, and finally I read for something on, I read for the chief on Inspector Gadget. And that thing I booked. And the next thing I knew, that company, Geek Enterprises, made Inspector Gadget, which was the best first experience I could have had. I was sitting with Don Adams, one of my comedy heroes, and he told us stories about the making of Get Smart. Well, you know, we'd work for 3 minutes, and then he'd talk for 10 minutes. Work for 3 minutes, talk for 10 minutes, and nobody would stop him because he was a big star. He was Don Adams, you know. So I got this education about 60s television. Then that led to Real Ghostbusters, Gone, and you know, so it just kind of snowballed because once you show up and you can show up on time and do the work and that you're pleasant to work with and you really know your way around acting, they keep booking you. So that was my thing was, you know, stand-up comedy. And I never worried during that year because I still had the stand-up comedy to fall back on as my main career. I was touring with Rodney Dangerfield, you know, so that's how I got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, my question is, have you ever done a voice of a voice actor to the voice actor? Gosh. And if so, what's their reaction?
Well, there's good news, everyone. I've done it to Billy West, and so has everybody else on the show.
What with Zoidberg? We go with Zoidberg on the show.
Billy does Professor and Zoidberg, but so does everybody else. Not for the show, but just to annoy Billy. We love those characters so much, we all wish we were doing them. So that's my best example of that is doing Billy's voices for Billy.
I do Pearl from Steven Universe all the time. Steven! It's obviously way larger in life than Dee Dee actually is. It's pretty close to her actual voice, but a lot of the cast members and our director, Ken Osborne, does it a lot too. And we have way too much fun with that.
I, in a Goofy movie, was the last movie that a great character actor by the name of Pat Butcher did. And he was Lester's part. All he said was, here it is, you know. And he did that voice from like Green Acres, you know, Mr. Hankton. And we sat around about an hour before he went into the studio. And he was telling jokes. He was like 84. It was only about 6 months before he passed away. But he was doing, I remember one joke he was actually telling. He was going to do a thing for Jack Palance that night. Bill, I want to try something out on you. Guy goes, I'm going to go up there and say, you know, Jack, you're an amazing guy. You've been out there on Oscars. You're doing one-arm push-ups, and Father Time has been very kind was too shy to do my voice for him. I missed an opportunity, and I really wish I had to see what he'd probably go, that sucks. You know, I missed that opportunity.
Not knowingly have I ever done that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hello, thank you for your work, for letting you guys in movies and A-list phoning it in. I wanted to ask, throughout all your careers, what was the toughest yet funniest line you've ever had to read? Like the line that was so funny, you're going to keep a straight face trying to do it.
In Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, there was early on, we recorded one song where we were all in the studio together. And there was an episode called Dr. Daisy. And Daisy was a doctor coming in, and she was going to fix up the gang. And I actually, as Goofy, had to say, "Gosh, Daisy, would you blow up my boo-boo?" And I started laughing. I got the giggles. Lucy Taylor does Minnie, started laughing and turning red and falling on the floor. Then all when we did, Mickey just egged her on because he was saying, "Gosh, would you blow up my boo-boo after that?" And it just disintegrated into laughing. And the guys in the booth were saying, "Now we've only got an hour here." And it literally took me about 16, 17 minutes to do that line satisfactorily. And then on, and it just, they separated us and we never recorded it again. That definitely was my top of it.
Sometimes you read a line and it hits your ear in a certain way, and then you can't. I had a line. I was doing an episode of a regular show, and Rigby was supposed to be reading credits like from a movie, and one of the credits was Best Boy Grip, and it came out Best Boy Grip, Best Boy Grip, and the director Chris was like, "Okay, let's do that again. Best Boy Grip, no, Best Boy Grip, Best Boy Grip, Best Boy Grip." I just couldn't like it. And it sounded worse every time.
I still don't know how we managed to get this line past students and practices on CBU. It's in an episode. It's a boy on the cusp of manhood can't spend the whole day whackering. He's referring to like a whack-a-mole game. Oh. But not a single note on it from the network. That took a while.
As I recall, you actually could do that, yeah.
There was an episode of Pinky and the Brain where half the episode was in tongue twisters. Called You Said a Mouthful. And I believe at one point I had to say, the sixth sitting sheet slitter's son is sick. And you can imagine what happened there. It took me about 10 minutes, and I eventually ended up going in and punching the writer just in the arm. Just the way, Lucy punches Linus, just boom, I ought to slug you, and I did. And went back in and was finally able to get the line out. So that was the big crack.
Thank you guys.
I had to do the sixth sheet was sick for this really weird gig. They wouldn't tell me what it was for. I was voicing like a phone system or a computer system or something. I had to say a bunch of tongue twisters, get all the vowel sounds, say all the numbers different ways. Still don't know what it was for, but they made me say that.
All right, very quickly, last question.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys have ever tried to expand your voice acting, say if you heard someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, would you try to do his voice, or are you guys just pretty much satisfied with what you have already got with you?
Never said.
Always try to learn new people. I'm doing my best to learn Trump. It's hard because I hate him so much. So I don't have that big one emulated. But I do think he's doing something hypnotic with the fingers. He's doing this. I don't know what it is with this and this. What the hell is he doing? I
don't want to derail into a huge discussion, but Alec Baldwin is one of me for his impression. I don't think it's a great cartoony Trump, but it doesn't feel like he's doing an impression of it. I've been trying to just in the mirror working on something that's closer to life, it's closer to him, but it's so difficult. And I understand why he went that route.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Always. Thanks.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.